Does it matter if you're reading from a tablet, smartphone, computer, or e-reader, or if you're reading from paper? My colleague Christine and I compiled the evidence from 56 studies looking at computers, tablets, smartphones, e-readers, and paper to look and see how they compare to each other and rank in terms of reading comprehension outcomes. Each of the 4 devices we looked at were compared to paper first and then ranked with each other. And what we have in this graph is that the small square represents where the effect is. 0 means there's no difference with the paper, and the further away that square is from the 0 line means the bigger the effect. The thin black line that you're seeing up there means how reliable those findings are. The more narrow it is, the more reliable the findings, the more spread out it is, the more inconsistent the findings. So what you can see there is that tablet and e-reader both overlap a little bit with paper, which means that they were not reliably different than paper. With our ranking, we found that reading comprehension outcomes were best with paper, then with tablets, e-readers, computers, and smartphones were last. Smartphones were probably so difficult for reading comprehension because of the size of the screen. It's quite small. You really have to rely on your memory. Tablets, on the other hand, are larger, and ergonomically they're more similar to books. So scrolling also seemed to be really important. If people had to scroll, the difference between reading from a digital device and paper was quite notable. In contrast, when people did not need to scroll, there were no reliable differences between reading from paper and reading from a digital device. In the studies that didn't require scrolling, either the entire text was viewable on a single screen or the text was paginated, so you swiped or you clicked to change pages, you didn't scroll to get new text. My takeaway for all of this is that reading from a tablet where you're swiping to change pages is probably the ideal form of digital reading, and reading from a smartphone where you're scrolling to get new text is probably the worst phone, which is unfortunately how many of us get our news, but that is another story.